So Robert and Marie were getting married, and Marie was very insistent that they go to Hawaii on their honeymoon. There was one challenge. They didn't have any money. And when she told him that was her dream, he said, honey, there's absolutely no way that we can afford it. The number one reason that most visions die is that answer. Repeat after me, honey, we can't afford it. Yes, the number one reason that most dreams fail is, honey, we can't afford it. The number one reason that most people don't travel the world is, honey, we can't afford it. Well, in metaphysics, that has very little to do with anything. Very little to do with anything. And so Marie said, Robert, this is the way it's going to be. I want to go to Hawaii on my honeymoon. And Robert said, well, what are we going to do? And Marie said, well, I can sew. I have some nice knit. I can sew up some prototypes. You're a good salesman. Why don't you go out in the community and see what you can do? Maybe we could sell 1, 10, maybe 20, and that would pay for our trip. And so Robert comes back at the end of the day, and he looks kind of startled, and she said, what happened? Oh my gosh, did you not sell any? He said, I sold 200. I sold 200. That was the beginning of St. John Knits, as Marie St. John was marrying Robert Gray. You see, the law of life is not a law that looks to what's in one's bank account. The law of life looks for creative ideas that brings forth the goodness of all things being possible. We never run out of creative ideas. And the whole idea in the power of visioning is to keep one's creative ideas open to what is potentially possible for one's life. Do you agree with that? Does this work with you? Good. Very good. There was a commissioned officer. He was very excited in the Navy. They had been reviewing him and how he was able to chart a ship from the dock out into the seas with a lot of help. And they said, this time we want you to be in charge. We want you to maneuver the ship out into the sea, and you're the one, you're in command. So he was so excited, and he had all the crew members excited. Everybody was helping him. Everybody was energized, and they left the dock with no issues whatsoever. But he was really surprised when one of the seamen came up to him and said, you have a message from the captain. And he said, I do? He said, yeah, you have a message from the captain, and here it is. And he was even more surprised. He said, well, where did it come from? He said, radio. He said, what? So here's what it says from the captain. My personal congratulations upon completing your underway preparation exercise according to the book, and with amazing speed, I might add. In your haste, however, you have overlooked one of the unwritten rules. Make sure the captain is on board before you depart, you see. You can have all the visions in the world. I know. Where do I find this stuff? I don't know. What a minister will do to make a point, right? You can have all the visions in the world, but your true vision, your guide of your life is your captain. It is that feeling, that longing, that knowing. For Marie, it was to go on a honeymoon. For some of you, it's to be a successful artist. For others of you, it's to be a public speaker or an orator. For some of you, it's to run a care center that helps children. For others of you, it's to have the answer to end world hunger. For others of you, it's the answer to bring diversity throughout the entirety of Pinellas County. You know, there are many different things that can be what is calling your heart, but it must create. You must have a captain. You must have a vision that is leading you forward and leading you on. Powerful, yes? There's a scripture that tells us just that. Thank you, Kurt. Let us read it together. Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Let's say that again. Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. There's nothing to be confused about by that, is there? It's very, very clear to ask in prayer and believe that you have received it. Don't spend time, did the universe hear it? Will God listen to me? Have I taken enough courses? Did I go to the right workshop? It just says very clearly, whatever you ask, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Easy breezy lemon squeezy. Right? There's a story about a woman, 92 years old, Mrs. Jones, and she's going to the assisted living because her husband had recently passed. They had been married for 70 years. And so she's out in the lobby waiting to see her new home. And the caretaker starts talking to her, and he says, Mrs. Jones, are you going to be okay? She said, I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it. I know I'm going to love it. I'm excited about it. He says, but ma'am, you haven't even seen the room. You don't know how it's decorated and what kind of furniture you're going to have and how things are placed and all of that. She said, son, the furniture in the room doesn't make any difference to me, or what the room looks like doesn't make any difference to me. What really matters to me is that I've already decided in my heart that I'm going to love it. And because I have decided it in my heart that I'm going to love it, I will love it, because that's going to be my truth. You see, that is part of our life journey. When we really own our vision, every step along the way in the process, we must be in the practice of welcoming everything. I'm going to love it because it's going to help me get one step closer to where I long to be. I'm going to love it. Are you ready for your life to accept where you want to be? Are you ready to fulfill some of your visions? Turn around and say to somebody, I'm ready now. I've talked about it long enough. I've told too many people about it already. Enough conversation about it. I'm really ready. I'm all in. People are going to talk about me because I'm going to make a mighty noise. I'm ready to shake it up. I'm ready to shake it up. I'm ready to go. I'm all in. I'm all in. Yes? I am ready. All in. If people aren't talking about you, you're not doing anything. Come on. The worst of the worst, the worst of the best, and the best of the worst, being average is unacceptable in unity. We're leading edge, yes, absolutely. Okay, where am I going? I don't know. Let me get back. Helen Keller would go on to say that the most pathetic person is a person who has sight but has no vision. When you take a couple of women that decide to start a garden, they can both start at the same time. These two women started a garden at the same time. They studied, learned how to do it, picked out the vegetables they wanted to plant. They got the earth ready. They got the seeds prepared. They did everything necessary to get their garden ready. One woman, after she did that initial work, she walked away. She looked forward for the months in the future to pick what was hers to be taken. Where the other woman felt a lot of energy around what she had planted and what she had done. And she would go out every day. She would bless her garden. She would do the work on the garden. She would tend to it. And therefore, when it came time for the crops to be ready, for the vegetables to be there, the one woman lived in abundance of vegetables, while the other woman, the rabbits, had eaten most of the things, and the tomatoes had been rotten, and nothing was of any use that she could eat. What is the difference? It's about tending to the garden of your own life. It's about tending to your consciousness. It takes a real commitment to watch the kind of words that come out of your mouth every day. It takes a big commitment not to get hooked into one particular point of view or one particular perspective. It takes a lot of commitment to tend to a healthy life of one choosing to live in a healthy manner. I don't know about you. I say a lot of no's to things that are before me at a table that I would really like to say yes to. You know what I'm saying? I spend weeks and weeks and weeks saying no to certain things because deeper inside, there's a deeper desire to say yes about what I know is going to be coming to me on down the road because of the choices that I've made right now. Yes, are you with me? The same is true for all of you. For the energy that you put into community, for the time that you put into friendship, for the deposits, the emotional deposits that you put into having someone that you call, that you are privileged to call the love of your life, that person that you are able to put those deposits into. It's more than just that first couple of years that everybody's shining and gleaming and you never know what day or time it is. That's all wonderful and good. We've all been there. Oh yeah, and I'm going to stick to topic, don't you worry. But that being said, it's at the end of those days that there continues to be a deposit of love and energy. When we come here, we put a deposit into our lives. Every week, we take a stand and we say, here we are, Lord, here we are, law. Use us, transform us, transcend us in a greater way. That's part of tending to who we are in our spiritual lives. When they first opened up Disney World at the grand celebration ceremony, someone is noted to say to Walt Disney's wife, it's too bad he wasn't here to see this. It's too bad that he had died and is unable to be here with us today. And he can't see this. And she said, oh no, he did see it. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, willing to pay those dues and that time and that energy and that consciousness. Many studies have been made for humankind. What is it? What is it that has people be able to survive conditions or to continue to show up or continue to believe in a dream? What is that? Stephen Covey studied it with Viktor Frankl when he wrote the book First Things First. He said here he was, Viktor Frankl, that he was a Nazi concentration camp survivor, beyond most of our imaginations to be able to conceptualize any of that whatsoever. And here he was, he survived it. And Viktor Frankl said, that he had really looked at the survivors, and he wondered, what is it? What is it about them? It wasn't necessarily their social training. It wasn't necessarily a skill set. It wasn't necessarily something they had learned. There was one common thread that was within all of them that he studied, and that was every one of them felt there was a greater work that was yet to be done, and they were the ones to do it. Wow. Wow. A vision, seeing, moving forward, the energy. Wow. What a vision we have here at First Unity Spiritual Campus. What a vision we have. I think of Les Saunders and his years here with his wife Natalie, who actually brought First Unity Spiritual Campus to this facility here that we know and the grounds that we have. Now, let me just tell you, I only get 20 minutes here, so I don't want to make it that that's all that Les accomplished. He did many things. He created many families. He taught many lessons. Many people grew and lived and moved through his work. And then we had Reverend Allen and Reverend Catherine. And through Allen's tenure here, he purchased the future buildings of the Learning Center and the building now, that houses Wings Bookstore. Yes? And many other things Reverend Allen did. Amazing leader. I think we should give both of them hands. I think we should give both of them a lot of hands. And now we have the ministry here now. We have the time here that we have together now. And we are at a place of a new vision. And we had people stay for the vision day that we promoted many, many months ago. And a lot of big dreams came out of that, and a lot of great ideas came into that. And now when you look at our First Unity campus, we're featured on TV and radio all over the world. We have 25 to 45 classes a month, where at one time there were 4 events a year. We have truly shifted. Wings Bookstore used to meet in that reception area. Now they are a leading edge organization on 4th Street. Let's give Wings a hand. Yeah. So our vision now is that we want to become a full-blown educational center, that we feature people all over the world, retreats, conversations, and connections. We are going to take the Encore stores, and turn them into educational classrooms. The room that is now Encore Boutique is going to become the Hornaday Educational Annex building. Yes. 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 We are going to continue with online classes and many other things with the healing modalities and the art modalities under the leadership of Becca McCoy. We are bringing art events here. We are bringing theater events here. There is one thing strong for us to do. Thank you. And that is that we are going to transform our pews into chairs that will give us better usage of our sacred sanctuary. And so we are officially launching that today, that we are going to transform from pews to chairs. I would like for you to vision with me 400 chairs in this sanctuary. Are you in? Are you with me? You said you wanted to go big last year. Remember, I asked you, are you ready? Are you ready? Ready? Okay, great. For every chair that is a contribution to this campaign, your name and your family, either memorialized or in a celebratory way, will go on the Tree of Life. You want to see it back there on the wall? The Tree of Life? Can you see it? Isn't that beautiful? That's awesome. That's led by the energy of Carol Delisandra. Carol, will you stand? Thank you for the project. We are ready to make a mighty noise unto the Lord. We are ready. And we are the people. And we are the ones, like Katarina said. It's our time. And we can do this. We're not can, we are. Yes. See how you have to watch your words all the time? Like I said. I'd like to close with a beautiful story by a book by Cheryl Jarvis, when she talked about this concept. The name of her book is called The Necklace. And it's a story about this woman that she goes to a jewelry store and she sees this diamond necklace. It's $38,000, but it really had a resonance with her and she was really attracted to it. And she couldn't get it off her mind. I mean, her initial thought was, honey, I can't afford it. But she just couldn't get it off her mind. She couldn't forget thinking about it. And so she went in and talked to the jeweler, and he said, I'll be glad to discount you some. So she got together a core of friends, 13 women, and she talked to them, and they all divvied up the amount, and they bought the necklace together. And they would wear the necklace for a month. And in 13 years, the necklace went all over the world. And it became the story that went from exclusive of a diamond necklace that very few people would wear, to a place of inclusivity and diversity because of the wisdom and the stories that they could share and that they could tell together. This is one of those moments here at First Unity Spiritual Campus. This is a defining moment for us. We're just getting started. In 6 years, we will be, surprisingly, 100 years old. 100 years old, okay? I have not been here the whole time, just to be clear, but all I can tell you clearly in my heart is just like the story about that necklace. It was a moment where things transcend. And that's what's going to happen on the collective to all of us. You will remember this Sunday. I want you to make note of January the 7th, 2018, when you were here. You will remember this day because you think we've accomplished a lot already. We've just scratched the surface, and that is my commitment to you. Get ready. Wear your shoes. All right? Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being here. Bless you. Thank you.